Welcome back to Crash 3 Insane version. So we've gotten about 4/5 of the way through the first world. Not too bad. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, except for what we'll be getting to right about now. Jet ski!
You see, when you put version at the end like this, it makes it sound like a Pokemon game. Crash 3 N-Sane version. Crash
Insane
3
version. Yeah.
Engaged
Just
version.
wait for the next generation. Don't give them any more of your money.
Isn't that what you're going to say when the next generation hits, though, random internet hater?
Yes. hey, who told you my tag name?
So yeah, Coco's new jet ski. God damn, it is slippery and it is heavy and just ugh.
It's not that hard to compensate for the slipperiness, though.
Well, no, obviously because we're able to finish the game at the end of the day, but it's
No, I mean, like,
compared
it's not
to
that hard
the
to
original.
compensate for it when you're making your turns and controlling it. Like, once you've got a feel for how it works, you can control it fairly accurately. The only really irritating thing that even I don't quite like is that the way, like, the original level design positioned boxes around, like, little clusters of bombs that you had to maneuver around. That's not quite as easy anymore.
What in the original game is well, to me the worst part of the new stages is jumping off ramps. Actually,
Because you can just slide right off.
it is not so much that, but more than ever, it's angle based. Maybe it was me, but there was something about the original game that kind of snapped you to the center of the ramp
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
when you jumped off of it, and you were able to easily line up for boxes that way. In this game, it's more realistic, so if you hit the ramp at an angle, you're going to be launching at an angle, and you're going to miss every box.
Now-
and to me, that's the most annoying
An
thing.
interesting thing about the jet ski levels in the original game is that Naughty Dog actually made separate game engines for the vehicle sections. So
That makes a lot of sense.
So the jet ski wasn't actually using the same engine as the rest of the game.
Engine as in a game engine or the professor?
Game engine, but
Okay. I'm glad we cleared that up.
I now imagine Coco surfing on top of Engine in the water
Engine.
as his legs
What are you doing?
as his legs like turn into boosters as he just glides along.
Yeah, in the original game, you would probably not have missed that box.
Yep.
But there is a bit of give and take as far as that goes.
God damn it.
Because there are a few ramps in the game where you are meant to jump off the ramp and fly off at a curve or an angle. It is much easier to line those jumps up now because you can do it before you hit the ramp.
True enough.
Most of the boxes off of ramps aren't those though, so
Not all of them, but some of the most
More of the
jumps.
sandbox ones.
Some of the
yeah.
most annoying jumps around nitro boxes in particular in some of the other stages definitely benefit.
mean hot
from this
cocoa.
bit. Whoa, I didn't know you could do that.
yeah, you could.
I always thought that would kill you.
Nope.
Yeah, I did too.
Good to know.
That was always a thing in Crash 3. As long as you landed on top of them, you were fine.
No, I never.
I never landed on top
I
of
had
them.
too many. Yeah, I tried not to because.
Well, obviously
the rest of the
trying
game
not to.
Well, I
demonstrates-
mean, there were a few occasions where I jumped from a ramp and hit one of the enemies, but I guess I missed and didn't land on top of them and wound up Goomba dying. The way you die to Goombas that you miss just slightly when you try
Yeah,
to jump on them.
when Mario lands on top of them with ski boats.
When Mario tries to land on top of them but misses by like a pixel,
A pixel.
and lands slightly beside them and gets clipped. It's happened to all of us.
We're all guilty of it. We don't like admitting it, but it's happened to all of us.
And then there's the Goomba or Koopa jumps where you jump from underneath them and somehow survive.
Yeah, and you jump really fucking high as a result.
Yeah.
But about the jet ski level, like the best thing about the jet ski levels in this game, in this version, is that the bombs are round.
Actually around, isn't you mean?
As in, they're not Doom sprites.
Well, they're not Doom sprites and they actually have a round hitbox compared to box.
yeah, that helps too. But like,
No, time.
Nice cut.
No, time. No. I'm doing this on purpose, actually, because I want to try to cheese the boss.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I've never seen this done.
One of the best Easter eggs. Stand in the spot. They throw cheese at you for trying to cheese it to knock you out of the spot and you die. I love how they did that. It's a nice little
I
Easter
never,
egg.
I never had the idea to do that though in the original game. 'Cause I thought avoiding the tigers was simple enough.
No,
Yeah.
But I guess like once you find a strat that makes you completely invulnerable, I suppose you never want to stray from it.
There is a thing
No.
about the lions, though. One of the oddball things about Crash Bandicoot that not a lot of people know because the game doesn't give you opportunity to do it is that if you kill 5 enemies in one move, you get an extra life. Once you have the Death Tornado spin, you can do that very easily in this boss.
Yeah. But how often do you go back to play this boss fight after getting that tornado spin?
Not often, but it's a
Yeah.
good way to grind lives if you need them.
I suppose. If you already don't have 99 somehow by the time you get that tornado spin.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
We were all kids when we played this game, so this was actually helpful stuff.
Sort of.
Well, no, because I recall first time playing Crash 3 back in 98, 99, one thing with one of those two. I got a few game overs
So,
because of the varied gameplay styles.
so you mean to tell me that all of these people in the audience here made sure to pack both tomatoes and cheese to throw at people?
Yeah.
Actually, that's not too out of the realm of possibility for like Roman stuff. They probably
Have
they
you
probably
seen
would bring food.
have you seen the prices of the concession stands?
Speaking of dinner and a tournament, I actually really need to find time to get out to that medieval times place again. I haven't gone since like 8th grade. I really want to experience it while I'm old enough to appreciate everything.
By appreciate
I was not
everything,
aware
you
they
mean
still
the
had
food.
those.
Oh well, do you know what medieval times is?
Yes, I do.
I think I know what it is, but I never heard of the place itself.
It's kind of this dinner show where you sit in an arena and they serve you food medieval style, and you watch the sort of tournament show. And outside there's a marketplace area where you can buy all kinds of replica swords, like real
Tomatoes
real
and cheese.
swords and
Yeah, buy tomatoes and cheese.
Other, and the food you eat is like soup out of a wooden bowl that you gotta pick up and drink, and chicken that you eat by hand, that kind of stuff. Basically, you get to eat like Lord Denethor from the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh, I see how it is. They're cutting back.
Complete with
They're cutting back on dishwashing.
It's all part
medieval
of the experience,
times now with 100% salmonella.
I went there when I was in 8th grade, so I couldn't buy swords, and I only had a passing idea of what it was I was watching, but I remember it well enough to know that I want to go again.
What, is there like a dedicated place for it near you?
Near, as in my state, within reasonable driving distance, but it's like a $60 ticket, and it's a fairly long drive trip, so it would be a special occasion kind of thing. Like if I wanted
like
to
going
go
to
on,
an amusement park.
yeah, if I wanted to take someone on a really interesting date, I suppose I could keep that in mind.
Every time I think about one of those places, I immediately think of Cable Guy. So
Cable
goes to
Guy, which
show
one was that?
that was the Jim Carrey movie
Yeah, that's what
with
I'm
Matthew Broderick.
Like, I think that's one of the ones that I never actually sat down and watched, but I've seen it on television. Like, just while passing through the living room.
It was weird for his time. Like, it wasn't every day you saw Jim Carrey in a dark comedy.
Yeah. Well, Jim Carrey did a lot of stuff that not everyone knows him for. He was really good as a serious actor.
As his career progressed, like after Ace Ventura.
Well, yeah.
Like around the Truman Show, that's when he started branching out. But like, this is before Truman Show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so this must have been like mid '90s at latest.
Yeah.
It's more like the Truman Show is the one where he got put on the map as a serious actor. Ace Ventura before that had him sort of being typecast as that crazy humor guy.
Well, no, I would say that was more in Living Color that did that because he was in television before he went into movies.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor. He's also a method actor, which
So I hear.
so
So never hire him as to play a serial killer then.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Cable Guy were a little darker, it probably would be.
They actually did a video documentary / movie thing about the things that he did while playing the part of this historical person in a recent movie, I think. Which I've heard is more interesting than the movie.
Oops.
Well, that can sometimes happen.
I wasn't really acquainted with Jim Carrey as a serious actor until I went to see The Majestic, which oddly my grandparents took me out to as a double feature movie.
Never saw that.
Alongside Harry Potter the first time I saw that. It was a very strange combination. I wound up liking The Majestic more than Harry Potter.
Harry Potter and the Cable Guy.
The Majestic was this. It was this movie about an amnesiac guy who crashed his car during a drunken drive after getting drummed out of his job during the McCarthy era. It was very strange. But,
Was that the Christopher Nolan one, or is that a different movie?
Christopher Nolan?
He made a movie around that time, kind of like a similar name, but I can't remember if that's the one that it was or not.
I don't know. I just know Jim Carrey was mistaken for the son of the owner of this movie theater called the Majestic, like really tiny, small town movie theater. It was an interesting movie. I mean, I have no idea how it stands up to Jim Carrey's other serious movies. I just remember liking it when I watched it quite a lot.
You ever see Your Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
I've heard
That
of
was
it,
a trip.
but
Yes, it
I haven't
was.
Gone out of my way.
That's something I wouldn't recommend watching as a young kid. Like watch that when you're a teenager and above, because that movie's
that's
a
the one where,
mindfuck.
like, ex-boyfriend and ex-girlfriend get their memories of each other wiped away. In it?
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah,
Right.
that's general consensus. Of it, yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of dystopian memory fuckery stuff that you see in like
Yeah.
Remember Me and stuff.
Guess the memory is why I think it's tomorrow replaced with Crash 3.
Well, that's a good way to live, though.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you want to go about
after
the,
that.
I guess you want to go the memory route. We're not time traveling. We're going back to one of Crash's ancestors' past lives, where he was a platformer mascot.
That's
Oh.
Sly 4, Thieves in Time.
I was more making a Assassin's Creed reference.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Assassin's Creed
in
Origins.
terms of the platformer genre, that's totally
Yeah,
Sly
the
4.
most recent Assassin's Creed takes place in Egypt. That's the punchline. So yeah.
I couldn't remember how to get down.
What is the plot of Assassin's Creed right now? Like Abstergo, but
Who cares at this point?
Because like the the Desmond Miles trilogy is done, so now it's just about Abstergo sending random people through the Animus so that they can make a video game based on what they see.
Basically, yes, because I don't think anyone cares. I don't think anyone at this point cares about the overall plot of Assassin's Creed.
I think it's got merit. It's just kind of all over the fucking place. Like if they could like focus it some more, it would.
Has that series taken a break since its inception?
No.
Yes, it did actually. Well, sort
wait.
of.
Well, it sort of took a short break because, like, when they released like 3 main games in the same year or 2 main games, it got a bit ridiculous. It was like there was Assassin's Creed Rogue on the PS3 and 360, and at the same
Yeah,
time,
they took a bit of a break before this current one.
Yeah, at the same time they released Unity on next gen systems, so they had 2 different full Assassin's Creed games on 2 different generations of consoles, but releasing it around the same time.
And everyone got a bit burned out at that point.
Well, burnout has been a problem with Assassin's Creed since the Ezio trilogy.
Also an entirely different game series.
Yes, it is. He's not wrong. Has there been a burnout game in a while?
And Lewis just got it.
I forgot that there was a game series called Burnout.
Yeah.
I think that's a racer, and I don't do racers. Well,
Just
I mean,
not-
Why do you go
Just-
right? Like, why are you tempting the buttons? Like, go left.
Just not your thing, Lewis.
well, I should say like I enjoy racing as a casual thing, but not enough to actually keep in touch with the genre. So. And I don't do old school racers like the
RC
kind of-
Pro-Am.
Yeah.
No,
I
not even I would subject him to RC Pro. Yeah.
yeah, the old Mode 7.
Yellow car!
That kind
No,
of
that's not even Mode 7. That's NES.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't play those kind of games. So you'll never catch
play
me
some
dead
Road
playing
Rash.
old school F-Zero. But I just might try F-Zero GX one of these days.
Oh, GX is great.
Well, if you gotta play one,
Yeah.
play the one that'll make you cry.
That... Oh, why did you
No.
do that?
I was sure.
Because he had a mask.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah, you wish you'd kept that mask, don't you?
Well, I'm right here.
Spinning the box underneath a nitro crate is one of the most nerve-wracking things you can do in this game. Because you know in your head that the hitboxes work such that you can do it, but it
Never
always-
feels safe.
It feels so perilous to try.
Also, I'm glad
I know,
that
the
they
sympathy.
finally made the monkeys look like actual monkeys rather than orange blobs.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were for the longest time in the original game.
Ah, they were the headless from the Ultima series, just these brown blobs without heads.
Kind of, actually, yeah. You won't be getting that gold gem for a long time.
Well, you can technically get it after this tier because it only requires 10 relics.
Technically, but
That's if you're getting the relics along the way. I technically wait until I get the Crash Dash before I even
same here, because if I'm going to get the relics, I'm going for 105%, which you need to get the Crash Dash anyway to do.
Right.
Motorcycles.
I'd hoped, I'd really, really hoped that they would improve these things.
Now, how would you? In what way could they improve it in your
By making
mindset?
motorcycles control more like motorcycles for modern games, and less like these stiff abominations.
They see, I never rode a motorcycle in real life, so I don't know how
I've
stiff
never
they
read it
actually are.
in real life, but I've played video games where you ride motorcycles. Make it control a bit more like that.
Better than Shadows.
True, that's not very hard to do.
Well,
though.
that's more
Just
because
saying.
Shadow's motorcycle controlled like crap. It wasn't on a level designed for a motorcycle that controlled like crap. So
No, his motorcycle in Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing was pretty good.
Well, that's also a straight up
It
racing
was also,
game,
I think, the best vehicle in the game.
ironically enough. One thing they did change, they changed the pitfalls. Not really glitch, but the way you could kind of skid over the edges of them to shave off a few fractions of a second.
That was true in the original game.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm saying.
that's
That's what I'm saying. They fixed it here, quote unquote.
you know what? I never tested it myself, so I can't verify.
I tried just out of curiosity, and no, they did fix it. You go anywhere near those pits, you fall right into it.
Damn.
yeah.